Hello, good evening, my friends. Behalf of QSub, let me welcome all of you on board. Quick words about QSub Consult. QSub Consult is mainly focusing on MRI's training and placement. We have been giving training for the last 1.5 years, and we have our candidates already achieved MRIC status, and a couple of our candidates already got placed in different consultancy and contractors firm. So we are mainly focusing to enhance the knowledge of the candidates whoever joining our sessions. Okay. Without wasting much of my time, I'm directly moving to sessions where today we are focusing on provision sum items. So we're going to explain what is provisional sum, when we will use provisional sum, what is the function of provisional sum, what are the positive part of having provisional sum, what are the demerits of provisional sum. All those things will be explained in this session. And by the end of the session, we will be getting chance to interact with us, and you can have questions. We will be answering the questions also. So that is the way we planned or mold this session. Let us move forward to definition part and things. Okay. So the purpose of you all are focused to achieve MRIC status. So it is very important you have to understand definition of provisional sum. So here you could see in the screen, I take some snippets from the NRM method of measurement, because when I'm explaining something, I want to make sure it's a credible document, and it should be globally accepted definition or document. Okay, so what proportional sum means by NRM is a sum of money set aside to carry out the work that cannot be described and given in a quantified item in accordance with tabulated rules of measurement. So I mean, it should be confusing. Like, what is this portion sum item, and what is they are referring it to measurement? Why they are referring to tabulated rules and all? So let's move forward, like to see how they define the proportional sum and what is the proportional sum thing. Sum. Just I would like to give you some history about proportional sum, like when it started, because construction industry and towards starting from early 80s or 90s. And professionalism is introduced in 90s actually. If you look into early book publication of JEC, JCT, and in FIDIC, you can see the reference of professional sums. Then moving forward into 87 and 19 and FIDIC forms, they are clearly defined professional sum. They clearly identified and explain the expenditure of the professional sum. So that means by that stage, the concept of proportional sum is completely defined. Whereas in 60s or 70s, it was there as an item, but not well defined. But it coming to 99 or 87 to 17, it's completely defined. And all of the constructive field industries or construction professionals are aware about the proportional sums. So there is some two terms you have to keep in your mind. Guys, keep in mind one thing. I had to explain the proper definition of proportional sum. I'm giving you heads up about the proportional sum only. Okay. So you might have heard two terms, contract sum and proportional sum. So what is the difference? Contract sum and proportional sum. Why can't together call us a contract sum? Why do you want to have something called provisional sum and something called as contract sum? So if you look into contract, the definition of contract, two parties, say me or any of you, we are signing the contract. If it's a lump sum contract, me and you signing the contract, and we are agreeing to complete the work for lump sum amount. There is a certainty on amount. Let me give you a heads up again. I am explaining things in a lump sum perspective. So if it's a lump sum contract, if you and me sign the contract, there is a certainty on the cost. So that's the contract sum. Unless otherwise you are not adding something or you are not omitting something, the contract sum is fixed. Keep in your mind and fit it. Now we have something called provisional sums. As the name indicate, provisional only. It's not contract. It's just a provisional amount we putting into the contract. It can be added, it can be taken out, it can be omitted. You can play around provisional sum in post contract stage. Okay, there is no words mentioned. If you add an item in the contract as a provisional sum, it has to execute. Client can decide not to execute also, omit also, or to execute also. There is a flexibility with client. He can decide. Okay. So let's look into the proper definition. It's an allowance in the contract for the work that cannot be accurately defined or priced at the time of tender. So when you are issuing the tender documents, okay, when you issue the tender documents, the contractor should be able to read and understand the details and document completely. If you provide tender document with missing informations, the poor contractor will not be able to price it accurately. Okay, just imagine you are preparing the design documents, but many design elements are missing. You haven't given him the specification details. You haven't given him the manufacturer list. You haven't given him the design criteria. Many things are missing. So how you expect contractors to price those items? But he will come back to you. Dear client, I'm not able to price because there are a lot of information are missing. Then you're telling, no, praise it. Don't worry. Praise it. Go praise it. Okay. You are experienced contractor. You know well, praise it. What he will do? It's a big risk for him. His contracts manager would say, man, we cannot praise like that. It's a big risk. He will inform his top management that it's a big risk for us. We don't know what is the specification. We don't know who's the manufacturer. We don't know the details. How do you go into price? Then your top management would say, don't worry, you price it, but you consider a reasonable risk allowance. The contracts manager would then say to the estimation team, dear team, please consider the highest specification and highest details. Let us not go for a medium specification or medium quality. Let us consider all in high level, high risk item or high quality, high specification. So eventually, you're going to get a very escalated price. As a client, you are bearing that. So what we can do in this stage? So what we can do in this stage is like when you doing a design. So say you are designing a villa or a high-rise building. Okay, you designing the building, designing is going on, RFP details, everything is ready. But some information, say ID details are not available or ID design is not matured enough to price. Maybe you have ID design, but you have not decided the manufacturers, you have not decided the materials, you have not decided the country of origin. What you can do now? There's two options. Either you wait for the design to complete, or else provisional sum. Okay. So first option is like wait for design to complete. Designing, if you wait for design to complete, you literally waiting entire team to finish because already structural drawing finished, MEP finished, foundation finished, all this drawing finished already. Only ID drawing is missing. So what you can do? First case is like you wait for design to complete, maybe take to 3-4 months to complete. Then only you can send the RFP. That means then only you can send the tender documents. Okay. So literally you wasting your 4 months. That means if you are constructing a hotel project, you can open it only after 4 months. In ideal case, you're supposed to generate revenue in this 4 months. Because of design issue, you're waiting to a stage so that you'll be generating revenue only after the fourth month, which is not desirable. As a client, you want to generate revenue at the earliest. So what we do in this scenario, we will say, let us make ID as a professional sum so that the contractor can price other item as a lump sum amount. And this ID item you can keep as a professional sum items. So you already send RFP 4 months before because you're not waiting for design to complete. Before that you send the RFP, but you keep this ID as a provisional sum item. So the contract, you will be receiving an offer from the contractor and you can start the initial work like foundation, piling, all things you can start. And by that time, they will complete the ID design. You will issue the ID drawing. Then provisional sum will be converted into the original contract sum, or you will be expending the contract into provisional item also. Okay, so this is the intent. When you have some design issue, design is not matured, in this scenario you will be considering professional sum. Okay, now let us look into the definition in NRM, because NRM is a method of measurement which is globally accepted. Let us see what they says about professional sum. So they said it means a sum of money set aside to carry out the work that cannot be described and given in quantified item in accordance with rules of measurement. So now design is maybe partially ready. When design is partially ready, you will not be able to quantify those items. So when you're not able to quantify item, let us call it as a provisional sum. Because without having a complete design, if you send that documents to the market, if you send that design to the contractor, he would say, no, we don't have proper ID drawing information. But if you tell again, you price it please as a lump sum item, he going to load a lot of risk into that. Maybe if you have proper design, it will be 10 million. If you tell him to add risk allowance, it will be 15 million, sure. Because he will consider the highest specification and highest quality for sure. Okay. Provisional sum is mainly classified into two types: defined provisional sum and undefined provisional sum. We will look into it that one by one. I'll explain you what is defined provisional sum, what is undefined provisional sum also. Okay. So the what I explained basically the pure theoretical part of it, which you had to understand, you have to keep in mind as a RICS candidates. But practically, there are more layers over here. So first, if in practical cases, like just imagine you land as a commercial manager in a client industry. So this is not the only one cases, or it's not the only one scenario where you have to look into professionalism. There are bit more other factors you have to consider when you introducing a professionalism. For sure, one case is for sure, design is not accurately available. So you will not be able to quantify it properly and the contractor will not be able to quantify properly. So what you do, without waiting design to complete, you will include this item as a professional sum and tell contractor to price as per the available information, like that. Or sometimes you will keep an amount instead of allowing contractor to price also. Okay. Now let's see some other scenario where will we consider process some items. The first scenario, as I explained, design is not matured enough to price. Okay. Second cases, maybe design is completely complete, design is complete, is fully matured, 100% is finished. But again, client decided, I want to control the quality. For example, let us take our example of ID items. So ID, interior design items, is the most important aesthetical item which people see. Okay, when somebody, if it's a hotel project, your customer coming, they are seeing the ID items. They are not seeing what is inside the ceiling. They're not seeing what is the rebar used. They're not seeing what is the kind of plaster used. They're seeing the ID items only. If you send to the contractor, just imagine design is completed and you send to the contractor. So contractor will be choosing the, so ID contract, you send the all the documents including ID drawings to the contractor for pricing. So here the contractor, the main contractor will be the one who decide the subcontractor. He is the one who decide the material, which means as a client, you losing an opportunity to choose the specialist. Yes, there is a manufacturer list is there is a material specification there is a what else is there? Supplier origin is there, everything is there. But again, the control is on the contractor's side. But as you know, ID is the most important thing. So you may think as a client, I don't want him to decide what to do. So let us do something. As a client, let me finalize a contractor. Let me finalize the quality of the material. And then I would say the contractor to, through nomination maybe, I will tell contractor to enter into contract. So what you do for ID item, even though design is ready with you, full design is ready with you, but still you call it as a personal item. You are not including into the main contract. You call it as a personal item and you put almost same amount in the personal sum. Say, because you will be having a cost consultant. He would tell you, it's going to cost around 10 million. So you will put same 10 million or 9 million in the personal sum bill of quantity. Okay. In post contract stage, you will negotiate with the ID contractors. You will finalize the specification. You will agree the country of origin. Then once you agree everything, you would say the main contractor, this is the nominated contractor for the ID item. Please go make a contract with him. So that means you as a client can control the quality and price also because you are the one who negotiate. So you can control the price and quality. Then unwanted risk. I think I touched base this item already because if the design is not matured enough and if you send the documents to the contractor, he going to price a lot of risk. Say drawing is 80% matured only, there are information missing, but you still want him to price a lump sum amount, he going to load a lot of risk allowance over here. Then some specialist items like a lift, light fitting, sanitary, you as a client need to have full control of the quality. In that case also, you will keep it as a provisional sum item. Okay. Then there is one more item, one more case, budget issue. So initially you will be having a budget, client will having a budget. Okay. Just imagine you constructing a home back in your country. Okay. You decided this is my budget. Say 1 million is my budget. So you start designing, design is maturing one by one. You prepare concept design, you prepare detailed schematic design, you prepare detailed design. But when to come to IFT stage and when you prepare a budget, it become 1.3 million. So you plan for 1 million and now it's become 1.3 million. What to do? So you ask your cost consultant what we can do because my budget is maximum 1 million, but now it's 1.3 million. But you don't want to omit any item in this stage. Maybe you can omit many item and say, make it 1 million. But you say, no, I don't want to omit these items. So what we can do? So he would say, let us do something. Let us keep one. He will look into BOQ. He will look into design, and he identify some item. He would say, okay, there is a landscape design for your home. Maybe you can take out that landscape design. That will reduce 30 million. You would say, okay, but I really want that landscape design. It's my dream project. So I need my home looks premium, or I want my home look like cut above the rest. So if I take out landscape, it will not look so good. So then your consultant would say, yeah, I know you, it's your dream house and all, but your budget is maximum 1 million. What you can do? You have to cut 30 million. Then they would say, let's do something. Let us take out this landscape and keep it as a provisional sum item for time being. Then we will looking into value engineering. We will look into design optimization. I mean post contract stage. Because now if you wait, your RFP will be delaying, because again you have to look into spend 4 or 5 months in redesigning, optimization, value engineering, everything. Instead of that, you would say, for time being, let us keep landscaping into provisional sum item and then issue RFP. Maybe sometimes some contractor would submit 80 million, so you will get 20 million profit there also. Maybe some contractor would submit RFP for 85 million, so you will get 50 million. Maybe then you can arrange 50 million from somewhere else and you can execute provisional sum item landscape also. That means instead of omitting those items, you keep into provisional sum item, so that when you get a chance to rearrange the budget, you can accommodate those items. These are the main scenario when you consider provisional sum items. The first, always keep in mind, the first condition, when you cannot accurately price the item because of the design issue. Okay, that means the first condition, work that cannot be accurately defined or priced at the time of tender. Second case, when client need to have full control of the quality and price. Third condition, when you don't want him means contractor to load risk elements. Fifth condition, when you need specialist item, you need to have full control on QHSC, quality, health and safety. When you wish to have full control, you will put it as a PS item. Again, then there's a budget issue and you don't want to omit one item. You still want to keep in the contract and try whether you can accommodate in later stage after implementing value engineering or descoping or design optimization. So in these scenarios, you will be considering the provisional sum item. I hope it's clear now. It's an interactive session. So before I'm going to next session, before I explain provisional sum types like defined and undefined, if you have any question, you may please ask now. You may also type and post in the chat box also. I can look into that. So there's a question from Happy Sharma. In an item rate contract, is provisional sum added as a BOQ item? Happy Sharma, normally there will be separate bill of quantity for the provisional sum item, because you will not be adding or considering that amount into your contract amount or price. So most the cases there will be separate BOQ or bill of quantity for the professional sum items. Let me tell you this way, because when you start the contract, as a first condition, you have to submit the performance security. Performance security will be submit on the accepted contract amount, excluding the PS items. There will be bespoke contract concerning the, that's the bespoke only, but as per the standard condition of contract, the accepted contract amount is excluding the provisional sum items, because it's provisional. You have not decided yet to be considered, to be executed or not. So it will be always have a separate BOQ items. Okay. You may ask in the mid also. I'm just moving forward with some examples showing how provisional sum work. So you can see the first picture, which is like initial design. Okay. So as I'm a client, so I decide to construct something like this. The first picture you can see on the screen. Okay. A villa, which is a luxury villa maybe. Okay. So I prepare full design. I prepare full documents. I prepare specification. I prepare manufacturer list. Everything is ready with me. I was about to send the RFP. Okay. Then suddenly, maybe my father, my wife told, let us add some landscape also. That will be looking very good. Okay. See, your design looks very plain. There is no landscape. There's nothing is there. Can we add some landscape? I was like, no, I would say, no, guys, I already had my design with me. I was about to send RFP, and I already speak with bank also showing this design, and now it's very difficult. So they will push you. No, no, we need a landscape. So then suddenly I will call my consultant. I will say, dear consultant, please add a landscape. I need a landscape also. So he would work out and say, Midhun, I can give you maximum this much information, because I give him only 1 week time. Say 2 week time. In 2 week time, he made some basic landscape design and sent to me. But if I send this design, the one you can see in the middle, the contractor will not be able to price it, because my intent, the third picture is my intent actually. This is what I want, with this kind of landscape, with the circles, with curves, with fountains and all. But here, what you can second picture is a very pre-concept design only, or a concept design. If I send this document, he cannot price accurately. So that means he cannot price this item accurately. So he will be adding a lot of this risk into his pricing if I tell him to price on a lump sum basis. Okay, so in this case, I will keep it as a purchase sum item. When this, so I will tell you praise the first design. I will tell him to praise the first picture or a first design. And I would say, if you can, this is the information available with me for the landscape. If you can praise it this item, but it's a PS item. Maybe he will praise it, or sometimes you would say you consider to praise it also. You keep some amount as a provisional sum item. So you will award the contract for the first design. Okay. And when entire design is finished, you will send this third design that you can see in screen. This document to the consultant, sorry, the contractor. He will then price the item, and then you will be expending the previous item, and that will be adding to the contract price as a variation or PS adjustment. Okay. So this you can see where when the example for how this work. So initial design is there. Then you decide to add a new design called landscape, which in this stage, very little information available. But you want this kind of design, whereas you have only basic things available with you. If you send that one, contractor will not be able to price it. So what you decide, let us keep it as a PS item. Okay. So then let us look into different types of provisional sum item. Mainly, there is two type provisional sum item: defined provisional sum item and undefined provisional sum item. Defined item means a sum provided for work which is not completely designed, but for which the following information shall be provided. So that means there is an item which not completely designed. That means the firm design is not available. But again, you know the nature and construction. For example, our landscape example, you know that it's not completely designed, but still you know the nature and construction. You know it's a landscape work. You know you're going to construct the landscape around the villa. Okay. Then a statement of how and where the work is fixed to the building and what other work is to be fixed therefore. That means now you know where you going to construct the landscape. Do you need, maybe you don't know whether you need a soft landscape or a hard landscape, but again you know there is a landscape around the building. So nature is not, where to fix also not. A quantity or quantities that indicate the scope of and extent of the work. Quantity or quantities means, quantity means a landscape work. Quantities means the ingredients of the landscape, how many softscape, how many shrubs, how many flowers, how many trees. So as I said, design is not accurately available. You will have maybe quantity only, not quantities. You would say only landscape. Right now, I cannot quantify accurately, but however, I would say this many meters of shrubs, this many number of trees approximately, or any specific limitation and to be like identified. If you can identify these four criteria, that is called defined proportional sum. Let me give you one more example, okay, for the defined proportional sum. Light fitting. ID light fitting, okay, mainly for the light fitting in the front of area. So light, maybe the client is designing the light fitting, everything is designed, okay, but he is not decided that the make of the lights. That means the country of origin he is not decided. So if country of origin is not decided, he will not be able to price accurately. He need to know the light is coming, because the contractor should know the light is coming from USA, UAE, China, India, or whatever. Because each country, as country change, the price also change significantly. If you buy a light fitting from Europe, it's really expensive. Whereas if you're buying same light fitting from China, that will be less expensive. So that means you are not able to price it accurately. But again, you know that nature and construction, you know that it's a light fitting and you know how to install also. A statement of how work to be fixed. You know that how do you going to fix into the main work. You know that you need a wiring. You know that you need a DBs. You know that you need a controllers, but you cannot price it. Quantity or quantities. In this case, quantities are available because what is not available is the list, country of origin only. Quantity is all already there. Type is already there. Only country of origin is missing. Okay. Any specific limitation and the like identified. In this case, there is no limitations. Sometimes there will be limitation. They would say you can buy only item from the ISO certified suppliers. You can buy items only from the green building certified suppliers. Like this kind of. So in this case, if all is 1, 2, 3, 4 points are there for you, then you can call it as a defined proportional sum. That means it defined, it well defined. Only thing you cannot price it accurately because of very minor issue. Maybe because of the design accuracy issue. But again, other four information is available now. Okay. Maybe sanitary items is an example. ID light fittings in examples. Maybe vacuum system is an example. Landscaping is an example. Water feature is an example. Many like that. You know that it's required over there. You know how to fix it there also. But you don't know how to, maybe you don't know what kind of material, manufacturer list, quality requirement, ISO requirement, green building regulation, something missing to price you accurately. That's it. Let us look into undefined proportional sum. Means a sum provided for work that is not completely designed, but for which the information required for a defined proportional sum cannot be provided. So that means you're connecting two items. There is an item is there. So some design is available. Again, the four item mentioned above is not available. You don't know nature of construction. You don't know statement how it's going to fix also. You don't know quality. You don't know the quantity or quantity requirement. You don't know specific limitation also. But you know that there is a work. Okay. So in first case, in defined proposal sum, you almost have 80% information with you, but some minor information is stopping you from pricing. So you call it as a defined proposal sum. In second case, you know there is a work. There is a work which is not completely designed. Same time, you don't know the nature and construction. You don't know the statement of how to fix it. You don't know quantity. You don't know limitation also. In this case, you call it as a undefined proportional sum. We will look into examples, then you understand what exactly I mean by that. Okay. Defined. Let's look into defined example. Landscaping work. So I'm putting AD 75,000 for landscaping work. External gardens area as per future design drawings. Okay. 75,000 I'm keeping as a proportional sum for landscaping work as per the future detailed drawings. So that means I have some schematic drawings or indicative drawing available with me. Let me remind you about the example of landscape which I shows you. That means some basic landscape design is available with me. So based on that, I'm keeping 75,000 AED for the work. But again, it will be remeasured or reconciled as per the future detailed drawings. So nature, you know that landscaping, location, external garden, contract and plan preliminaries. When you know the landscaping, sorry, when you know the nature of the work, and when you know the location, and when you know the limitations, the contractor can price the preliminaries. The third point, the contractor can plan the preliminaries. I will explain that in detail in upcoming slides. Okay. Second example, specialist lighting installation. Keeping 40,000 for installation of decorative lighting in the main lobby as per approved design. Maybe now you have a design which is 80% or 90% matured. But again, as I said, maybe specification of the lights mixing, lex level of the light mixing, origin of the country of the origin missing, which you cannot price it now accurately. So you know that lighting installation, location, main lobby. So that means the contractor can plan his work accurately. Third example, audio visual system. 100,000 for supply and installation of AV system in conference room. So you know that AV system. So nature, you know. Location, conference room, you know that location also. Now the contractor can plan accordingly and he can consider allowance for prelims also because he know nature and location. When he know both of this, he can praise this item. Okay. Now let us look into undefined items. For example, undefined item, future specialist work, 85,000 for specialist work to be instructed later. What does it mean by that? So it's very vague definition or vague statement actually, because you keeping 85 50,000 for a specialist work to be instructed later, but you don't know the design. You don't know what kind of specialist work is there. Is it a landscaping work? Is it a fountain work? Is it a MEP work? Is it a light fitting work? Is it a firefighting work? No idea. You just know it is a specialist work. That's it. So if you get only this information, nature you doesn't know, location you doesn't know, then you cannot plan the work. or you cannot consider elements for the prelims actually. Okay, in previous example, you know exactly the type of work, landscaping. You know location also, external garden, which giving you a clear indication how and what work is going to execute. But in these cases, the first example, when you consider 80, 50,000 for a specialist to work, to be instructed later, you don't have any idea about nature or location. And you will not be able to price the item also, sorry, plan the item also. You will not be able to consider the prelims also for that. Second example, client selected features 80, 30,000 for additional features as directed by the client. What is that? It's completely vague. You don't know what is additional features. It could be anything. It could be a EV charger. It could be a external high-end cladding. It could be high-end fountain. It could be different type of aesthetic coverage. It could be Italian marbles. You don't know. It could be anything. When you do, you know only a figure only. They told, a client told you there is an item, but they didn't told you like what kind of as called location, nature. You don't have any idea. Okay. Third example, miscellaneous adjustment for unforeseen works. What is that? What miscellaneous adjustment? What unforeseen item? So this is called this kind of completely vague, unqualified items. Like you don't know what is there. You don't know what is the nature, location, and how you're going to fix it. This kind of items are called undefined proportional sum. Okay, so mainly two type of proportional sum: defined proportional sum and undefined proportional sum. Okay, let me give you one clarity over here. If you're a contractor, you will not be seeing this item in your BOQ. If you're a contractor, you will see whatever you see in the bill of quantity of proportional sum. It is defined proportional sum. It is undefined proportional sum is with the client and the cost consultant. As a contractor, you will not be seeing undefined proportional sum. Whatever you see in your BOQ or in your contract as a proportional sum item, that all are defined proportional sum items. Okay. So what you do as a client? So now let us come to client side. What client will do? Because he will prepare the budget for the proportional sum item which is defined, he can prepare the budget accurately, up to 90% accurately he can prepare based on assumptions. But this item, how he can cover it or how he can overcome this? So what we do as a client or consultant, you prepare the budget. Okay, when you prepare the budget, you prepare budget for the original contract, like you prepare this much for the original contract. Then proportional sum items defined, you say based on the information 90% is okay, so we can consider this amount plus, say let us put 10% contingency also. So this is the amount for the defined proportional sum. Then there come the third item, undefined proportional sum items. So as a cost consultant and the design consultant, they will list out undefined items and they will look into these items because they are experienced people. Cost consultant and design consultant are very experienced person. They put something called contingency. In the budget, they will put an amount called contingency against this undefined items. Again, there will be contingency for the future variations and future changes for sure. But again, for specifically for this kind of items, they will put a contingency. That purely depends on the type of designs, number of undefined items, number of potential design, and that's from design to design, it varies. So based on that, they will be putting a contingency elements over there. Okay. So contractor, you will not be seeing this item. Consultant and client, you will be seeing this item. Okay. So now you know about proportional sum items. Now you know like why you need a proportional sum item. Now you know defined proportional sum item, undefined items. Now we know some examples also. Okay. But let us look into why we need proportional sum item. Because if design is not ready, let us issue as a variation in post contract. Why do you want to make it so complicated? Why do you want to call the portion some item? Different terminology. Many people confused. Why you want to make all confusion? If your design is not ready, wait for that. It is mature. Then you issue as a variation. It's a reasonable question, right? Why? Let us wait for contract. Let us award. If design is not ready, prepare a full design. Then you issue as a variations. The problem is, if you issue as a variation, the contractor is going to claim prelims over and above. If it's a significantly high changes and design, they will be going to cost charge you prelims. They will be maybe applying for extension of time also. To tackle these things, we introduce professional sum items. So in any method of measurement, be it a POMI, be it NRM, be it a SESM, they define that if you see a PS item in your bill of quantities or in RFP, as a contractor, you should assume that that you should assume such a way that the work is coming to you and you have to consider that into your program and into preliminaries. For example, there is an infrastructure work is PS item. Okay. So you are a contractor. You receive the bill of quantities. Sorry, you define the RFP document, tender document. Okay. Then you open the bill of quantities, everything, and you see that there is a PS bill of quantity, and there is one item called infrastructure. So guys, when you see this item, you have to consider prelims for that, and you have to consider the program allowance also. When I say prelims, you have to consider the allowance for the infra engineer, infra inspector, infra designer, whatever you call surveyors, everything. Because when you in the post contrast stage, you will not be able to add this item. You will be able to add only your markup over it. You will not be able to add any prelims over it. Okay. So that means when you see many PS item or when you see PS item in the bill of quantity, you have to price those item in the prelims. If you are a main contractor, that means civil contractor, and you see that there is a infra scope in the PS item or there is a landscape scope in PS item, you have when you price the prelims, your estimation department should price for the landscape designer, maybe landscape inspector, maybe infra inspector, maybe infra engineer, maybe infra manager, maybe you have to price in prelims because in post contract stage you will not get a chance to price those items. Similarly, you have to make your program such a way that you will be executing that work also within the time of completion. Because in post contract stage, you will not get a EOT for the PS items. Hope is clear with you. That is the beauty of PS items. Okay. So guys, if you are somebody working in estimation department, make sure when you see a PS item, price the prelims and consider the program allowance also. Okay. So you may ask me like, what if the PS item is omitted or PS item is not expending, can the client can omit the prelims? Yes. In standard form of contract, it's not anywhere mentioned that PS item omission will not qualify a prelims omission. It may always mention that if you omit the prelims, sorry, when you omit the PS item, the client can omit the prelims also because you are obligated to price the prelims against the proportion sum items. So when you're omitting the item, why I have to price it? Sorry, why I have to give you? Sometimes infra and infra landscaping has very expensive items. Okay. Maybe your contract is 1 billion. Infra maybe 300 million. Okay. So you have considered that much prelims in your in your submission. You might have considered all the infra engineers, all infra managers, all the inspectors, QQS inspectors, everything you consider in the prelims. So if I am taking out that item, I can take out the prelims also. Okay. But program, normally client will not ask you to uh, reduce the program, but that baseline is fixed, and baseline fixed as per the original program. Unless it's not in the critical path, you will not be telling to reduce the program. It because you plan the program as per the original contract, and you already plan still the building certificate. So he will not be telling you to reduce the program for that. Okay. So you may wonder why client or consultant is asking initially to submit your histogram, your labor histogram, your resource histogram, everything. Because of this only, because they want to see what you have planned. I don't know how many of you work in contractor or consultant. Normally, when if you're a consultant, if you're a cost consultant, you have to ask the contractor to submit his resource histogram, his engineering staffs and resource histogram, his planned equipment histogram, everything. Because you want to see how many, what is considered, how many engineers, how many infra engineers, how many landscape engineers, how many civil engineers, everything you have to see. In the worst case, when you are omitting the landscape, you should tell him, hey, as per your histogram, there's a landscape engineer, take him out. As per your histogram, there is an infra engineer, take him out. You can tell him like that. So that's the reason initially you are, as a consultant, you ask for the cash flow forecast, you ask for the detailed cash flow forecast, you ask for the labor histogram, you ask for the what else, you ask for the resource histogram, you ask for the plan histogram, everything, because that help you to understand what they considered and what you can take out in the case when you are omitting the PS item. Okay. So it's, if this issued as a variation, EOT plus prelims claims will be there. Just imagine the infra scope I'm issuing as a variation. Infra is a very big scope. Okay. If I issue as a variation, definitely they're going to charge prelims and EOT. Post contract team will be immediately act on these item and finalize which avoid any delays. That's a, because prototype item, if you're not administered properly, if you are not awarding it on time, that will give you an EOT to the contractor. Say client supposed to issue a PS item, say this month, say first December, client supposed to send an EI for the PS item. If he delay that, that will entitle the contractor for the EOT. Client will get chance to control the quality, which we mentioned already. Smooth tender process. There's no waiting for the design to complete. But again, no cost certainty and schedule certainty initially. Client can omit this item if not required anymore. Risk management. These are the some positive part why you need a provisional item in the bill of quantity. Okay. So hope you understand why you what is bill of quantity. I'm sorry, what is provisional item, type of PS item, why do you need PS item, when do you need PS item, the benefit of having PS item, and demerits of having PS item. Just to recap over here, so define PS item. That means enough detail for planning. Undefined PS item, a very little information is available and very difficult to price. Okay, so just before I recap or conclude, I would like to give you some benefit of having, just for your understanding only. Some benefits are flexibility on and identified items. You will get a full flexibility on items, avoid inflated tender pricing, client control, specialist work can be controlled, and you can maintain the momentum of project. It's not stopping anywhere. Okay. But again, if you look into uncertain demerits, there is an uncertainty in pricing. Only unless you finalize the price, then only you know that the cost or a final cost, and the PS item is open to market. Okay, if you're not finalizing it, it open to market and it is subject to market inflation. That is a big risk on you. Maybe in post contract, there will be risk also in terms of dispute, sometimes unwanted dispute because of unawareness about the PS item, and you will have a complexity. Administration is bit complex for the PS item. Okay, these are the main things which you ought to consider in terms of PS item, or you ought to understand as a PS item. For RICS, it's a very small topic, but we spent almost 1 hour for the PS item, because I just want you to ensure that if you guys sitting in this session, you should understand everything about PS item. I don't want you to just understand the definition and go away. I want you to understand the concept of professional sum item, so that in your job, forget about the RICS, you will get for sure. In your job, you should be able to introduce this. You should be able to apply it. Okay. So that's my main intention. So thank you very much, guys, for your participation. I really appreciate it. We have like 30 plus, 35 plus members over here, and your valuable time you decide to spend with us to understand. On behalf of QServe, thank you very much, and I am open to any questions if you have any. Thank you. Yeah, Nizar.
Hi, sir. Hi, Midhun.
Hi, Nizar.
Yeah, how are you? Thank you for the
Very good,
session, first
Nizar.
of all.
Yeah, Nizar, go
Yeah,
ahead, please.
actually, I want to ask, is it possible to descope the item in later stage? Is it
Definitely, we
contractually
can.
correct?
Yes, correct.
Contractually. For example,
Because,
if my, yeah,
yeah, go ahead, please. I will listen to
yeah,
completely then.
because in my contract, there is an item.
Mm,
Due to fast track of the project, actually, we are trying to give to like a subcontractor
mm-hmm,
from our client side. Okay.
mm.
So, is it contractually viable?
Of course, you can give if it's a PS item. If that item is in the PS, you can give to anybody else.
Yeah,
But
it's in the
it's in the
piece.
PS, right? So that is the
Yeah.
intent of PS item. Okay. Because in this position, I'm not giving any assurance to you. You may or may not get it. Okay. If you get it, it's good for you. But still, as a client, you have the right to control that. I will give you, Nisar, some example what I used to do, because it bit ambiguous in some contracts. With FIDIC also, it bit ambiguous and it's not defined whether you can define, whether you can descope or not. What I used to do in particular condition, I put a small clause like client or consultant. Client normally put an employer only. Employer hold the full right to descope or omit the PS item, and the consultant, sorry, contractor shouldn't be claiming any loss of profit or whatever you call, because they sometimes come with the loss of profit. I've seen that also. Experienced contractor, they will never come back to you. Okay. But someone less experienced people, they will come and ask you like, I need a loss of profit. I came joined with all this expectation. Now you're taking out. So I've seen that also. Contractually, there is no right on their side. But again, it's a dispute. It's a unwanted dispute in the post contract. To avoid that stage, the best thing you can do is like cover this in your tender documents. Just take a unilateral power to descope it. Then is issue solved. Hope is clear,
Yeah.
Nisar.
Thank you, Vinod. Thank you.
But you can omit, no problem. You can. That's the beauty of PS item. Anytime you can take it out and give to somebody.
Hello, sir.
Thanks, Nisar. Anyone else?
Hi, sir.
Hi, Happy.
So just a small query. Does this mechanism of provisional sum works in the lump sum contracts also?
Yeah, of course. It works in lump sum contract also. In lump sum contract also, we have PS item bill of quantities. Because even as a lump sum quantity also, lump sum contract also, sometimes client will be in the last stage, they will decide to add some items. And that stage they will not be having full documents with them. They may have a say schematic drawing or say concept drawing available with them. With that, they will not be able to price completely. So they include it as a PS item in lump sum also. I understand your question why you're asking also, because lump sum is something when you need to have full cost certainty, you will go for lump sum contract. But again, why do you need a PSI? That's a question, right?
Exactly, sir.
So it's there, Happy Sharma, because depends on client requirement only. If client wish to go for something, there is a chance always. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Thank
And
you.
one more thing, sir.
Yeah, Sharma.
When we have developed the design in the between of the project, like earlier, we have some undefined task which we added like provisional sum, and
Hmm.
later on we have developed that design. So
Hmm.
the contractor is going to price for these items again for that adjustment
So
of provisional sum.
yes. So that let me go back one step back. So in tender stage, you will be putting a PS item. Okay, PS value against that. Just
Yes.
say the design is partially or say 80 percentage is matured and 20 percentage yet to finalize. Okay, so they put a partial some amount in the PS bill of quantity. Okay, so the contractor is award and he start working. By that time, design is completed fully. Then the client or consultant will send the full design. That means 100% design into the contractor. He will price it again full completely, but he will price only the measured work. He will price only the bill number 2 or a measured work. He cannot price any prelims item under that.
Correct.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you. Any other questions, Sharma?
No, sir. Actually, if I look in the Indian construct, their
Hmm.
prelims are not defined separately in BOQs.
Okay.
So if I'll see that the item price includes the prelims also.
Hmm. It's a big
So
task, man. It's
yeah. So if I'll
extracting the
see
prelims is a big task.
correct. So what I'm saying is that if later on the design is complete,
Hmm.
uh, the contractor need to reprice the items, and
Hmm.
obviously that time he will include the prelims also in the item rate.
Yes. If you pricing as a BOQ rate, he will be including that also.
Correct, sir.
If
Thank you.
there's no separate bill of quantity for the prelim items, and say if it's a landscaping or such work, there will be rate for the concrete in the BOQ. There will be rate for some rebar in the in the BOQ, and they will be using same rate in the when pricing. So in that case, they will be getting opportunity because why? Maybe I would say there should be separate prelims bill always as a best practice. But if I will tell you one example, if landscape, say civil contractor, okay, in civil contractors, they are predominantly doing civil work only. They will not be having landscape division or they will not be having infra division. So what they usually do, they will get a subcontract or price from the market and submit to you approval only,
Okay.
isn't it? Say they will be say if you are someone Shapurji or some company and you will be having the full civil thing is completely with you. Okay, which company you working, Happy Sharma?
Sir, right now I'm working with Hill International.
Hill International. Okay, so consultant. So just
Yes.
say some contractor. I don't remember any Indian contractor right now. Say one contractor. Say Tata.
Okay.
Okay, just imagine Tata is they are mainly doing civil work, civil building work. Okay, but in the
Okay.
bill of quantity there is a PS item for the landscape, and they does not have a landscape division. So what they do, they have to go to market when
Correct.
engineer issue an EI instruction for the landscape or a PS expenditure. They'll go to the market. They will may get 4 3 quotation and submit to you. In that case, they can add only the OHP only. So there is no that repricing issue.
Correct.
Hope it's clear.
Yes, yes. Actually,
Oh,
overhead profit generally defined in the contracts. So
yeah, yeah.
same markup percentage they can add.
Will be priced. So they say if say 20 lakhs is the landscape, one say one C is the landscape figure. they will put say 20% of OHP, whatever define the contract, and some submit to you. Normally they will, if you tell him to find the quotations, he will go to the market, he will minimum get 3 4 quotation and come back to you. Say you say contractor, landscape contractor A B C D, this is the price and this is the comparison, this is, but they will give you every information, and as a main contractor he will be getting only OHP over that.
Correct, correct,
Okay.
correct, sir. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Happy Sharma. Yeah, Nizar.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, Midhun. Actually, I just want to ask. In my contract, it's defined. The contractor
Yep.
has to submit 3 quotations in order
Yep.
to activate the provisional sum. For example, in one case, he didn't submit. He submitted only 1 quotation. Okay, and he's saying actually he's waiting for the others.
Hmm.
But can I give an EI in this case? And
You
later,
will be
when
in
it
trouble from
comes
the
to
complaints department.
yeah, that's one part. So, but
Yeah.
in later case when I issue him the payments, but I can go with the actual ones.
Hmm. I would say no straight away, Nizar. Because
Okay.
someone like KPMG or EY come
Yeah.
and they will find this as a red flag, because they would like to see the negative, the mind go in negative side only, which is they are supposed to do. Okay. So they will immediately ask you why you are biased towards the contractor. He would say whatever comes to his mind, but it's his obligation to give you 3 quotations. Why you deviating from that? So if you ask
Right.
me, maybe your delivery team would say, no, it's urgent, we have to focus.
Yeah.
So what you can
This is
do,
the
you have to get whoever, suppose say yes, you have to get a blessing from that yes guy. Maybe you can go to complaints straight away. You are governing complaints department. You say loop all the guys and say this is what happening. So I need to in this, as project demand in this stage, I have to go for 2 quotation. Please agree. But you can do one thing practically, Nisa. Tell this cost consultant to prepare a benchmarking against that, because they will be having plenty of quotation from other projects. Okay, so let 2 quotation from benchmarking, that will be enough to justify,
yeah, yeah. Thank you
because
for
at
that.
least you can say yeah, I agree, I have a 2 quotations, but again see, I have a cost consultant, they prepared a benchmark which is in the
Mm.
range of acceptable range. At least you can justify your stand, but again it's
Yeah,
very risky also. And if you are working some in a client side, it's too risky. Maybe you will lose your job also.
yeah. I get your point.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
So I would say no, but again, yes, subject to conditions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, then is sir.
Hi, Nitin. I have a question actually.
Who is this?
This is Ahmed. Uh,
Hi, Ahmed. Good evening.
yeah, hi. Hi, Nitin. With regards to administering, now we have awarded the contract to the contractor, and now
Yeah,
the designer has given the full detail of the provisional sum, and now the contractor is pricing it.
yeah.
When he sees that the budget allocated, say like 5 million was the budget, but now
Okay.
it's surpassing it and it's going up to maybe 700, 7.5 million, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
Yeah, so at that point of time, if we have like multiple provisional sums and that is
Mm,
surpassing the uh, cap within the
mm,
contract for any
mm,
variation,
mm,
so how can the contractor then mitigate it? That is my first question. And the
mm,
second question is, can the client, with regards to the provisional sum, not allot it to the main contractor and give it to a nominated subcontractor? If it is done in that way, can he do that somewhere in between of the project as well?
I forgot the first question, man. Can I? The first question was like, when the subcontractor, sorry, the contractor submit the PS amount, it's above the budget of the allocated budget.
Yes, it's about the allocated budget. So how does the
Budget.
contractor, yeah. So
So,
now
so
how
firstly,
how
yeah,
how can the contractor or how does the consultant at that point of time uh, yeah, I know he can do value engineering and all, but
yeah,
the design is already fixed over there, and
yeah,
and
yeah.
so how do you bring that within the budget then?
So if you want to bring that into budget, like, you have, firstly, let me look into budget first. Because you have prepared a budget when you have pre-contract stage, you prepared a budget based on the available design plus the assumptions. That's what you prepare the budget in that stage. Plus, indeed,
My
there will
question,
be
Midhun, is actually what
contingency.
happening in KSA is, sorry to disturb you. What's happening is, like, for example, PMC is awarded the post contract
Hmm.
for this particular work.
Hmm.
They have no awareness of what the budget is, what the client was committed at the pre-contract stage.
Hmm.
PMC has come, a peer design has been given for the PMC or for the PS item, and now
Hmm.
the contractor has priced it 7.5, whereas the initial budget was 5 million.
Hmm.
So now, how does the consultant?
So 5 million to 7 million right now, in a simple
Yes,
way. Okay. So the first case, if you have any chance for design optimization, you are looking at that. If your time is available, if you have enough time with you, first thing you are looking into design optimization. Something is you consider consultant normally tend to consider superior designs for sure. You can optimize that as a first option, but subject to time availability. But again, 5 million is based on what? That's the first thing you are looking to, right? Are you wrong or he is overpricing? That's the first case you look into as a key issue. What if you are wrong with 5 million? You are underestimate the risk and he is overestimate the risk. It should be first stage purely as a design optimization, rate analysis. You ought to look rate by rate and understand the over risk. Eventually, the risk is a factor. That's the only thing, because prelims cost and other cost will not increase. Material cost will not increase. Labor cost almost fixed. The main elements will be the risk part, right? You agree with me, Ahmed?
material can increase. No, there is
Material
quite
can increase like
inflation.
up to what extent it will
Inflation.
increase. If you have a specification with you, up to what extent it will increase. You buy from here or buy
Uh,
from there, up to what
yes,
extent it will
yes,
increase.
approximately on 10, maybe
Very,
maximum
very
5
less
to 10.
percentage. Yeah, yeah, I don't think 5 to 10 also, Ahmed. Material price is like, that's not significant. For me, the main, they will be putting a lot of risk over it. Or else, sudden increase in the cost. So look into change specification maybe, value engineering maybe. That's the only thing you can do in stage, right? Design optimization, value engineering, potential descoping, system introduction. I will tell you one example which I did. We have an infrascope of the work which we did recently, and the sewer system was gravity based. So as you said, it's when we issue the PSEI, the price goes significantly high. So what we did, we introduced some new technology like vacuum system and all. So we can reduce the dewatering, we can reduce the excavation, and so that perspective, we was able to reduce the cost into an extent. But other than that, I don't know what we can do, to be very honest with you, because you already have design with you. He praised also. If you have enough time, maybe you can go for the B grade contractors. If you're okay with that, if you are a very strong technical team and supervision team, you can go for a B grade contractors and control the quality from your side. Or else, if you have time permit, you can go for a redesign of your optimization redesigning. Then of course you will have introduction of new system to reduce smart system. I would say reduce the cost. And as a third, reduce the duration so that at least you will save some prelims out of it. Other than that, I don't see any, at least in my experience and knowledge, I don't see much in that, Ahmed.
Yeah.
What was the second question, Ahmed?
Second question is, can the employer go for a nominated subcontractor for any PS item
Yeah,
after contract award to the
yeah,
main contractor?
yeah. So main contract has been awarded. Okay.
Yes.
So for PS item, main contract is going for some other contractors.
No, the client is descoping from the main contractor and then he's going for a nominated subcontractor. Can he do that? A nominated contractor.
After awarding PS item or before awarding PS item?
Before awarding. It means the
Yeah, before
contract
he
has
can
been
go.
awarded, but yeah,
PS
okay.
is not been awarded, right? PS is not been
No,
awarded.
not been awarded.
No, he can go
Right.
for it. Yeah, he can go for it. That's the main intent of having PS, right? He can go
But
for it. He can, yeah.
at that point of time, will the main contractor not come back? See, my prelims are there. I tried it, and
You have to recover his
uh,
prelims
for-
straight away. You should tell him I'm going to omit your prelims also. Then he will go back. If it's
yeah,
based
no.
based on the
But if
POMI,
it's
SESM or NRM, any of this
embedded,
method of measurement, you can.
but if it's embedded, usually in KSA contracts, mostly it's embedded within the unit rates only. At that point
It's
of time,
embedded within the unit. That's again that's different topic actually, because how to extract that amount, that's different topic. Because if there is not bill number or bill of quantity, that is again administrative difficulties for sure. But you can omit those item for sure. To answer your question, how to omit? It's a you are into pre or post contract, Ahmed.
no post contract.
So normally, when we start the contract, we will be telling them to give the split of the BOQ, right? You're doing
Yeah,
that.
but we have tried quite multiple times with several contractors. Everyone has said for post contract, there is no such obligations on us.
Okay, but it's
And I've faced quite a few. I've finished because I'm working in Kingston One Park as of now, post contract with Atkins, and
yeah.
most of the not most, and all of the BOQs which we have over here are embedded. The prelims are embedded within the unit rate,
So whoever
and
prepared the BOQ, I mean, I would say the whoever prepared the BOQ should be questioned first. And again, in preamble, you have to, in at least hereafter, in preambles, you have to mention that subject the contract, contractor obligated to submit the BOQ breakdown for each and every item, including material, labor, prelims, OHP, risk. Put it in the prelims, preambles. Put in the put it in the question number 12 or 13 somewhere. You can use that. At least hereafter.
yeah, actually, that's the obligation of the person or the entity who's preparing the BOQ at the pre-contract stage.
Yeah,
But
it's
we get the
at least
BOQ only at the post-contract
even
stage.
somewhere you look into 12 or 13, you can find something for sure if you're using form of contract.
All right.
You
Yeah, but
can tell
we
him.
are
You can.
actually, yeah. To be frank, we are using bespoke form of contract. That's
Okay,
another
man.
challenge.
Bespoke always, it's always a risky thing. But standard form of contract, you can tell him, give me that. I'm not. At least you can give from your side as a lesson learned. You can tell your pre-con team, please guys, these are the issue you face. At least from upcoming tenders, please incorporate this requirement. It's in Saudi.
Yeah, it's inside.
Okay, cool. But that's what you
All
can do
right.
maximum right now.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Ahmed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Midhun.
Thank you very much, guys. If you don't have much questions, let us drop off. See you. I mean, we'll be planning one more CPD mostly by next week. What do you think? What do you want me to focus? Like a PS item was coming to my mind. I thought of taking it. If you had any suggestion, you can tell me now. I will be looking to that session maybe. And this is not a formal CPD something, okay? It's more like interactive sessions, like a training session, which we can speak each other and we can, share the knowledge. That's what we intention is mainly. So if you have any suggestion, let me know. Like I can next session we will focus for that. Claims, sure, Ahmed. Claims we will keep in mind for sure. Claims and variation. Variation is yeah, that too, definitely. Others, if you don't have questions, maybe you can drop off also. Good night.